Hey everybody, and welcome to Beyond the Sermon. This is where we get together and talk about yesterday's message. You know, when we plan our messages, there's always something that we wish we had more time to talk about, and especially as we look at these 7 churches in Revelation. And so today I have with me Dr. Charles Cooper. We just call him Coop, the teaching pastor, community pastor at our East Winter Garden campus. And yesterday, Coop, we talked about Smyrna. So what was it that you wish you'd had more time to really dive into with that?
Well, you know, Pastor, there's always some subject that really does need to be taught or touched on, and you just don't have time. And this is one of them, I think, because there is a subtle underlying concern, you know, that God would allow these people to be thrown into persecution and suffer in the way that they were going to, though there was no negative criticism of them. So the idea generally is, hey, listen, I'm a good person. I've done the best I could. I've lived the best I could live. Therefore, I should be blessed, right? Then God comes along and says, no, I'm going to let you be persecuted. I'm going to throw you in prison. I'm going to put you in jail. Is that really fair? So it's that question of fairness, which plagues everybody.
Absolutely.
People constantly wrestle with that, is that if I do good, then I expect to be treated in a good way or to be blessed. And if I don't, then I expect not to be. And yet God is putting these people in. And what's really interesting is that he uses the 3 words that we most associate with Christ: pasco, which we get our word paschal or suffering, used to describe the death of Christ, is used as something that he's going to apply to these people. Thulipsis, which is the word we use for hard labor when a lady is getting ready to have the baby in the final stages. Thulipsis, he's going to throw them into persecution, and they're going to be thrown into prison. And unfortunately, prison this day is not the prison of those days. We're talking about a hole in the ground or a dungeon. So here people are struggling. Is it really fair? And what can we say about a God who does that to his people?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we can say this: if God allows you to experience something that is out of the norm, you can always count on it that he has a blessing or greater blessing in store for you. And this is exactly what the impetus is for the Smyrna people.
Yeah. And by the way, that blessing isn't always in this life.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Let me quickly get there. Yeah, because it's not about this life. It's the next. It's what's coming in their future that makes their temporary suffering so viable and such an option, and that they actually can go into it with a sense of joy. In the same sense as the writer to the book of Hebrews said to Jesus, who is the author and finisher, perfecter, the guy who completes our faith, says, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, despised the shame, and he took his seat at the right hand of his Father. Now, what's the joy of Christ that would be so great that he could face something so impossible in a situation like the cross and yet come out of it victorious? And that's exactly what he's promising to the people of Smyrna. In fact, he says it: if you endure to the end, I'll give you the crown of life. And that is the joy of success, getting the crown.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
So as believers, we understand everybody's going to go through tough times.
Exactly.
And God allows some people to go through tougher times than others.
Tougher.
And yet, if we understand God's love, God's always going to redeem it for good if we, surrender to him. And if we will have an eternal perspective, we will face those sufferings differently.
And this is probably one of the more applicable sermons in this series as far as the time that we're in. I mean, I'm sure that there are Christians out there who feel that COVID and the ramifications feel like God has thrown you into a lion's den and kind of left you alone. If you've lost a loved one, someone close to you, or you've been isolated, locked away from home, understand that if God is allowing something to come your way that is this terrible, the fairness question can only be settled by understanding the reward on the other side. That makes any question on this side trivial.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Coop, so much. Hey guys, you don't want to miss this series. Hope to see you this coming Sunday, either in person. So many people are returning now. Easter kind of put a lot of people at ease. So we'd love for you to be here or to watch us online, and as we walk through the rest of these churches in the book of Revelation and talk about, are they dead or are they alive?
Alive.